The story begins 24 days before Christmas. An American drilling team is working on a remote mountain in Finland. The lead driller, Riley, is concerned about a recent discovery from a core sample. At a depth of nearly 400 meters, they've found something other than rock and dirt. He shows his colleague the sample. It's a thick layer of sawdust. Riley explains that this layer is 20 millimeters thick. He says this discovery doesn't make any sense. He theorizes that in the old days, people used to store ice. They would preserve it by wrapping it entirely in sawdust. He suggests this mountain is like a giant freezer. He orders his team to drill deeper and check the temperature. Meanwhile, a local reindeer herder, Rano, distributes new safety instructions. He tells his men to watch their language, as it's the Christmas season. Back at the drilling site, Riley gathers his men. He announces that his childhood dream is about to come true. He believes they are standing on a sacred burial mound. He dramatically calls it the largest burial site in the world. Despite the danger signs, he orders the use of explosives. He gives his crew 24 days to complete the excavation. They prepare to blast open the mountain tomb. A young boy, Pietari, has been spying on the operation. He tells his friend Juso a shocking discovery: Santa Claus is dead. Juso scoffs, telling Pietari that the Santa who visited their house was an actor. He reveals that Pietari's own father paid the man to visit. Juso declares that the whole Christmas tradition is a big scam. Pietari's father, Rano, comes to wake him up. He finds Pietari sleeping on the floor, as if he's been keeping watch all night. Later, Pietari sees something outside his window and urgently calls for his father. He finds Rano in the shed, busy butchering a pig. Pietari insists that someone was on the roof. Rano, annoyed, dismisses his son's questions as stupid. Pietari meets with Juso again, who gives him a rifle. Pietari declares he's going to shoot Santa Claus. Juso is confused, reminding him that he thought Santa was already dead. Pietari points to a new electric fence around their property. It's meant to protect against wolves, which have been agitated by the mountain explosions. Rano and his fellow herders await the arrival of their reindeer herd. They plan to fill their freezers with meat for the winter. But as the reindeer arrive, they realize something is terribly wrong. Only a few animals have returned, the rest of the herd is missing. Following the tracks, the men find their entire herd has been slaughtered. They blame the explosions for driving strange predators to their land. However, they find a hole in the fence that was cleanly cut with pliers. Rano calculates the devastating financial loss. The 433 reindeer were worth approximately 85,000 euros. Facing bankruptcy, Rano and his friend Piparinen decide to confront the drilling company. When they arrive at the site, they find it completely abandoned. They discover a massive, deep excavation pit. They realize the company wasn't conducting research, they were digging. They had excavated something very large from the mountain. Pietari has set a large pit trap in his yard, supposedly for a wolf. He shows Juso his books, explaining the truth about the real Santa Claus. According to ancient legends, this Santa would beat naughty children to death. The ancient Sami people grew tired of his cruelty and lured him onto a frozen lake. He was frozen solid inside a giant block of ice. The people then buried the ice block, creating the mountain known as Korvatuntuuri. Juso warns Pietari, implying he knows Pietari is responsible for the reindeer massacre. That evening, Pietari asks his father what would happen if he suddenly disappeared. He then asks if Rano thinks he has been a good boy. Rano replies that good boys are already asleep. At the abandoned site, the last of the drillers realize their target is still alive. Back home, a noise awakens Pietari. He sees his father grab a rifle and go check the trap. Rano discovers that the trap has been sprung. Pietari follows his father, despite being told to stay inside. Inside the deep pit, they find a shocking sight. A naked, emaciated old man with a long white beard lies unconscious. Rano and Piparinen bring the mysterious man inside and lay him on the floor. They find an ID card on him, identifying him as one of the American drilling crew. They lock the old man in a steel cage, where he begins to stir. He seems to be sniffing the air, sensing something. Rano discovers Pietari spying on them and angrily orders him to go home. The local policeman, Ima, arrives to investigate strange occurrences in the village. He reports that hundreds of sacks of potatoes have vanished overnight. Even stranger, heaters have been ripped directly from the walls of houses. A woman's hairdryer was also stolen. Suddenly, a frantic report comes over the police radio: Juso has been kidnapped. His mother says he was taken from his bed, leaving pillows as a decoy. Rano realizes his son Pietari speaks English. He and Piparinen need a translator for their new plan. They intend to sell the captured old man back to the American company. Piperinen warns Rano that the old man is not human. He shows Rano a vicious bite mark on his leg as proof. Pyatari decides to confront the captive alone. Believing him to be Santa, he confesses that he has been a very bad boy. He admits to cutting the hole in the reindeer fence. The old man suddenly reacts with incredible strength, biting a pipe in half. Pyatari notices the man is staring intently at a gingerbread cookie. He has a realization: this isn't Santa, but one of his helpers, an elf. They arrive at a hangar to meet the American boss, Riley. Rano, through Pyatari, offers to sell him the Santa Claus they have captured. Riley reveals that he is alone, all of his men have disappeared. When he sees the captive, Riley tells the men to lower their weapons. He explains through Pyatari that this is not Santa Claus. It is one of Santa's helpers, an elf. He points to the giant block of ice they excavated. The elves are trying to awaken their master, the real Santa, who is inside. The elves built a language for Santa. They are trying to thaw him out using the stolen heaters. The kidnapped children, including Juso, are in the stolen potato sacks. They are meant to be a meal for Santa when he awakens. As long as the children are nearby, the elves will not leave. Pyatari realizes the elves are after him, the last naughty child. He bravely puts on a Santa suit and declares himself the new Santa. The horde of elves outside hear his voice and fall silent, listening to his command. Pyatari, dressed as Santa, begins giving orders to the elves. The elves obey, accepting him as their new master. He commands them to load the giant block of ice containing Santa onto a helicopter. Rano pilots the helicopter, planning to drop the monstrous Santa into the ocean. Meanwhile, Piperinen and Riley round up the remaining elves. They herd the docile creatures into the now empty reindeer pen. With the crisis averted, a new business opportunity arises. They form the Sub-Zero Corporation. They will train the captured elves to become department store Santas. This, they joke, is the true magic of Christmas, how Santa can be everywhere at once. Later, the men gather to calculate the profits of their new venture. They have a total of 198 Santas ready for export. Each one is valued at the price of the lost reindeer, 85,000 euros. Their total earnings will be approximately 16.8 million euros. Their financial troubles are finally over. The film ends with a montage of their successful operation. The elves are taught proper Santa etiquette and how to say ho ho ho. They are then packaged into wooden crates and shipped worldwide. The crates are labeled, rare exports from the land of the original Santa Claus. If you want a recap of your favorite movies and shows, comment below, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next ones. See you next time, everyone.